Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And man, that pendulum, she is swinging hard, isn't she? Tim Cook, CEO of progressive tech company Apple, is personally giving $1 million to Trump's inauguration.
And again, I want to point out that for a long time now, businesses and people will give money to a president's inauguration. It is not a new thing with Trump.
No.
They keep acting like this is like it's not a new thing.
No, this has been the way that it's been for decades. It's just, the 2016 election broke people, and then they started becoming a lot more. People have always been partisan, but it was like hyper partisan. It's very interesting though, because I have to wonder, are people, the Hollywood celebrities, are they going to, give up their iPhones now? Are they going to stop supporting Apple? Because Apple's gone after a certain demographic, and it tends to be more progressive people, lots of hipsters.
Well, they're going to have a problem too, because a lot of these companies have given him money. Meta, OpenAI, Amazon,
Almost all
Toyota,
of them. So,
Ford, Uber, GM. This happens with other presidents. You're basically trying to buy favor.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing.
And they've been doing it for years. This isn't a new thing. Even though I want to point out, the image is fun. I like that image for whatever reason. Good job, Laura.
There you go, Laura Norman from The Verge. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some reactions on Bluesky where people are literally saying they're going to boycott Apple now. But if you boycott Apple, you have to boycott a lot of other companies. And I'm gonna.
Have they called him a homophobe yet?
Yeah, I know, right? You know why it's funny? He's gay.
I know, but they will.
They will. They won't do.
You're against people that are LGBTQ.
Dave Rubin. Was it Media Matters tried to call him anti-LGBTQ, and it's like, here's a picture of him and his husband, their kids. So whatever.
I know, right?
Whatever. Things are changing though.
Oh yes.
Because just a couple of years ago, Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, basically got pushed out of his own franchise for donating to Trump and a couple other Republicans. Never mind that at the same time, Disney was actually donating to Republicans and Democrats, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know. A lot of these people donate to both sides. We've told you before, because they're trying to buy favor with whoever side wins or who might be in charge of your state at the time. And
Scott Cawthon, it didn't surprise most people that were paying attention, because he's actually an outspoken Christian. So why you're surprised, I have no idea. But they canceled him. And it was very fashionable for many years to cancel anybody in Hollywood or anybody working in entertainment or video games or whatever, anybody that showed even a little bit of support for Trump, to cancel them, boycott them, yada, 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 yada. And now we got the CEO of Apple, a gay man, giving Trump $1 million out of his own pocket.
Because it's okay now, because it's like, why? Because the difference is the majority voted for him.
Yeah.
Like, I think if it was electoral college only and it wasn't the majority, I don't know if they'd be so, willing to go over there. But because the majority, and they're like, oh shit, the majority.
So you're kind of outgunned, outnumbered, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Look,
outcooked.
Outcooked. At some point, you're going to have to realize businesses have to make money, and you can have your personal opinions on things. It's like, these same people that are outraged by Tim Cook giving money to Trump are totally cool with Chinese kids working in sweatshops making their phones, So it's like, come on. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishtv.com for more pop culture news. Go to clownfishminus.com, join the Plus Club, help support the channel, and also we have merch out there, so thank you very much.
What are they going to do then? They're not going to use Amazon, OpenAI. They're not going to use Amazon. They're not going to take Ubers anymore, especially if they're in a city.
Yeah, OpenAI, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, Toyota, Ford, Uber. And now they're saying that if TikTok gets saved, it's only because of Trump.
Right, but that's bad too. We don't take down TikTok, but if he saves it,
You're right. So this comes from The Verge. Tim Cook donates $1 million to Trump's inauguration too. The list of companies and CEOs lining up to visit the president-elect and give him money includes Meta, OpenAI, Amazon, Toyota, Ford, Uber, and GM. Yeah.
That's some of them. There's more.
Some of them. There are a lot. They forgot about Warner Brothers. They forgot about, they're all, we even commented on it, and I don't remember ever seeing an about face this quickly before in this country. Like you were commenting before, it's kind of weird that everybody's basically, he's the president-elect, and yeah, you have a lame duck presidency, but everybody's already treating him like the president, and they're all taking trips to Mar-a-Lago to go kiss the ring and give him money.
I know. Well, what's interesting to me on this was they're talking about him and why he gave the money. He said he believes the inauguration is a great American tradition. I'm telling you, it's been going on for years with the money.
Yeah.
And is donating to the inauguration in the spirit of unity. But Apple is not going to donate. He said he is. It's his own money. So you're going to boycott Apple when it's Apple itself didn't do it.
Yeah, so that's it. This is Tim Cook out of his personal money. Here's the thing. Here's what I think is actually going on. I think a lot of these CEOs of these companies actually agree with more conservative or libertarian values. They're capitalists, right? They run big companies that have to make money. And the last couple of years, the last presidency has been very hard to make money.
Well, not just that. You had Harris talking about how she was going to tax the stocks,
gains
and things like that, which, okay, I get it because a lot of these people hide their money in the stocks or other ways and you want to go after they're paying their fair share, which I don't disagree with. However, what reality of the situation was a lot of people were going to get caught up in it who shouldn't have been caught up in it.
Here we go, Verge user. They all gave money to every other president. So why should this even be an issue besides not liking the guy? Because the other presidents were grapists, want to be dictators.
I would argue that some of them just didn't get convicted of certain things. It doesn't mean that they didn't do it. Meanwhile, we have the current president going around preemptively, pardoning people. What are they hiding? Because why would you preemptively pardon someone unless there's something that they could be in trouble for? And giving out awards to people that shouldn't get awards. But that's okay when he does it.
They're talking about Mr. Cook can do what he wants.
Yeah, it's not from Apple.
For
and
Apple.
He made sure it was clear.
If Apple doesn't like the way Mr. Cook spends his money, they can take it up during his next contract negotiation. I don't think they're going to, because one of the things that Trump said he's going to do is he hired was Brandon Carr to come in. Yes, and they were going to look at censorship in tech. And I'm sure Apple's going to come up and Meta's going to come up. And
what's interesting to me, all a lot of the comments on here, they're all Verge users are anonymous, but it's funny because there's a lot of them are Verge users anonymous. Yeah,
Verge user anonymous. This guy. What a great democracy we live in when an ugly orange thing can threaten everyone.
Where is he threatening everyone?
Yep, threaten everyone, and then everyone has to suck up to him. Cook is known for turning a blind eye for profits.
Also, what a great democracy we live in when people who get no primary votes whatsoever could run for president.
That is true. I think I
love how the double standard just,
A lot of Democrats were not happy about that.
I thought it was crap too.
I walked away from the Democrats in 2016 after they basically did the same thing to Bernie Sanders. I mean, he was a clear front runner, and they're like, nope, you're getting Hillary. They
did it to Tulsi Gabbard.
They did it to Tulsi Gabbard. They did it to RFK. They, Andrew Yang was, and so there are people that clearly have momentum, and if they're not part of the establishment, they get rid of them. So this is interesting.
To bring up Jobs, yeah.
He's bringing up Steve Jobs. I think Steve Jobs would actually be on board with this. People don't understand, progressives and liberals from 20, 30, 40 years ago are not the same as the people that have commandeered the movement.
The progressives from then are us now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because we were basically considered progressive and liberal. And now, through no fault of our own, we're considered far, far right, even though we aren't.
People are bringing this up. This is actually very true. Steve Jobs might have gone right-wing during the pandemic after having a major meltdown about remote work.
He probably would have.
He was a control freak. Like Steve Jobs, you wouldn't be allowed to just fluff off at home. There's no way. Steve Jobs was huge friends with Rupert Murdoch and Larry Ellison of Oracle. It's easy to imagine he would have been friendly to Trump. Yeah, I think, honest to God, he might have been. And I think how things were handled during the pandemic and how business averse the country has become, I think would have pushed a lot of people. Because, it's not even liberals versus conservatives now so much as it's like Marxists versus capitalists in the business world. It's like if you're the head of a company, you can't be a communist.
I think, that's true. And I think also, you have to look at the pyramid of this too. Where we're at the bottom, there's lots of us to be friends with who we can pick and choose to be friends with. The further you go up, the less people that are your peers that you can, be friends with, know? And when you're at the top, it's, you're going to go, try to keep the road smooth for you with whoever's in charge because, you're probably friends with people that are on both sides, Because at the end of the day, I think both sides work for the same people anyway.
Yeah.
And it says you're up there and you have fewer people that, are your peers. So you have to play nice. So you have, those connections in case you need them. I can tell you for a fact, back when we did webcomics, for example, when we were at the bottom, everybody, you were one of us, so that everybody was nice to you. But the more you gain traction and popularity, the fewer of those people actually remained your friend.
Yeah. As long as everybody was equal, everybody got along. As long as you're part of the group, everybody gets along. As soon as people claw their way out of the bucket of crabs.
We were completely fine with being friends with whomever because we aren't like that at all. I'm like, I don't care if your comic isn't doing as well as ours. We've been friends for years, so you're still my friend. But they thought otherwise, and that's what I never understood that. But it is like as you get higher up, people get less likely to be your friend, and then you're left with people who are in the same bracket as you, peers. And I hate that because I like to be friends with everybody, but that's just me.
Yeah, but they always say it's lonely at the top, because I think it's very hard because a lot of people want to be your friend, but they just want to use you too. So
Bluesky, of course, is losing their shit.
So let's talk about Bluesky. We have gay Tim Cook giving money to anti-gay Donald Trump means it's finally time for me to switch to Android. Bye, Apple.
Where's the anti-gay? You know what I'm saying?
Apple CEO Tim Cook donating $1 million to Trump inauguration. Get in line with every other CEO telling the emperor how wonderful his new outfit is. Crossed out, think different. That was Steve Jobs, by the way. That was a whole other news. Apple CEO Tim Cook personally donating $1 million. That's the thing. It's not even Apple. It's Tim Cook himself. I'm disgusted by Tim Cook and Apple. Cook is a gay man who understands Trump and Republicans are going to roll back LGBT rights. This is a cold political calculation and the wrong thing to do.
I don't think they have any interest in rolling that back.
But again, if you gave a significantly lower amount of money to any Republican just a couple of years ago, you get canceled, you get booted from your own franchise. And I don't think it's gonna have any adverse effect on them. So you're gonna have some people in Bluesky ranting about it. Apple's still gonna sell phones. Actually, Apple might sell more phones. You might get some people in Arkansas who are holdouts who are like, well, Tim Cook gave money to money to Trump. I'm gonna go down to Walmart and get me an Apple.
Now I will say our daughter did switch to Samsung, but that's because she wanted one of the flip phones. So not because of any other reason.
She wanted the flip phone. I love this guy though, Randall Fink. It appears we're all Trump supporters now. You buy an Apple product, Apple pays a huge salary to their CEO, Tim Cook. Tim Cook then gives $1 million.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Original post on Mastodon. Okay, of course it was.
Oh, my God. Raw Story apologizes for the typo. Should read shamelessly blowing. Critics blast Apple CEO Tim Cook for shamelessly blowing Trump. Oh my God.
It's just hilarious to me. They just cannot stand it, Bluesky.
There goes another one. Tim Cook of Apple has also contributed to the Trump inaugural fund. Looks like I won't be upgrading my iPhone. Yeah, well, where are you going to go? Amazon? You're going to go? You know what I'm saying? Like you're running out places to go. Basically, you're going to have to deal with the fact that he is going to be the president for the next 4 years. You don't have to like him. Nobody's saying you have to like him. Nobody's saying you have to agree with him. But if you're going to boycott everybody and everything that this isn't real life is not social media.
But here's the thing, though. If it was in reverse, they'd be fine with it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what gets me. That's where it's hypocrisy. Like, to me, I think it's kind of shit that any business people are giving presidents a lot of money for inaugurations. I think that's stupid. And I think it's just them trying to buy favors, which I think that money shouldn't be in politics like it is. I really don't feel like it should be. So I think both are stupid.
This is Tim Cook did his bootlicking a few weeks ago. Now, he did. He was like one of the first ones to line up and say, "Hey, congratulations!" Like within an hour or two of Trump getting elected, he was out on Twitter being like, "Hey, congrats!" Now he's ready to put his money where his tongue's been. Ouch! And they got the dominoes knocking over. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
But this is what happens at every election. If Harris had won, they're probably giving Harris money, and you'd be fine with it. Like again, it's hypocrisy. But at the end of the day, it's like, they have to stay in business. What do you want them to do? I mean, not give them money at all because, they shouldn't be giving anybody money, but that's a whole other story.
People didn't pay this close of attention to the business dealings between companies and politicians until more recently, until it was somebody they didn't like. Again, this is normal. This has been, back in the day, back in the 80s, you had more progressive type companies giving, I'm sure, to Reagan and Bush. And in the 90s, you had more conservative type companies given to Clinton.
Well, I don't understand how it's any different than them, like, giving money to Harris's campaign, trying to get them elected.
Yeah.
Are you a bootlicker too? Were you looking her boots? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so what?
So my opinion here, before we wrap it up real quick, very quickly, is Cook and Trump are from the same. I don't know how old Cook is, but they're older guys. They were Democrats. I think they know the direction that the country's going in, and Cook is trying to save his company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't, in the new reality, 2025 going on, you cannot alienate conservatives and Republicans and still be able to stay viable. It's just not.
I think you just everybody needs to work together, and
Yeah.
I just think it would be the same thing if it was the other way around. You'd be fine with it then. If it's fine when it's on your side, but not fine when it's on the other side, then you have to ask yourself, am I being fair or am I being just, biased?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, I think giving inauguration money to a president is stupid either way, but that's just me.
All right. So we got to wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.